All right, you guys, welcome to another day today. What is today's date? Jeez, goodness, I don't even know what day it is today. We are looking at Wednesday. So happy day today, everybody. So today we're going to be going over sovereign people who are claiming to be sovereign. It's very difficult to be a sovereign party when you have an allegiance already to other people. And so you create a contract and you become obligated to other people. And then, well, you can't go back and say that you're not part of that, right? You can't say that it's not a part of what you've already agreed to do. So, with that being said, we have a pretty funny episode today. Actually, it's pretty comical, but I'm going to take this over and I'm going to share it over here so I can see where it is. Give me just a second to adjust stuff here. And then once I get it set up, we'll go from there. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to share the screen. Actually, you know what? I can't. I got to do this over here because, yeah, I got to do it somewhere else. Okay, so we'll figure it out here. We'll get it worked out. All right, so today's podcast is going to be on people that created things that didn't mean to do this. That they created these accounts and now they're held liable for things that that they shouldn't have to be liable for, but they don't know any different, so they can't change it. So one of the things, let's just go to the video. I'll start playing the video for you guys and then we can just get into that because that's the easiest way to do it. My goodness, it moves stuff around on me. All right, present and share screen and window. So right here, I do need to close out this or make this the whole window. There we go. Now, I need to share sound with you, so I don't think I can share sound on that, but on this I can. All right. So let's go here. We're going to take you to the lovely, I don't even know where this is. It says, what does that say? Montgomery County. So this particular court case, well, let's just watch it. Let's watch and we'll participate. Oh, before we begin, this is a dedication and a toast to Tito.
The following program contains mature content and is the truth. No part herein is intended to be legal advice and is for entertainment purposes only. Audience discretion is advised.
Okay, so with that being said, guys, this is just for entertainment purposes only. I'm just showing you guys some things that, well, I learned the hard way. So I was this guy who was trying to be a citizen or didn't know I was a citizen and trying to be sovereign at the same time. It does not work. You can't mix oil and vinegar. It doesn't work. So let's watch this and see what happens.
First up, we're in Dayton Municipal Court in Ohio for a bench trial. Judge Mia Spells presiding. 55-year-old Anthony Matthews has been charged with driving on a suspended license.
Okay, so Anthony Matthews is a corporate entity. Okay, the reason when they put his picture right there, they're amalgamating Anthony Matthews to a name that was created by the state. Okay, and then charges. Well, look at this. Charges. What are charges? Charges are accounting. Okay, so when you go to a department store and you use the department store's card, it is a charge. So it's a charge card, right? So you're using a charge from the same thing. It's a created accounting. Okay, so let's go further into this.
Matthews considers himself a sovereign citizen.
Okay, so people talk about this sovereign citizen. Sovereign citizen, how can you have a sovereign citizen? How can you be a sovereign citizen? Okay, so one thing I want to make clear is you can't be a citizen and you can't be sovereign at the same time. And that is a trick too, because it depends on whether you're capitalizing the C or not. Okay. So you can't be sovereign, because sovereign is independent of its own, and be a citizen. All right. So a sovereign is someone who is independent of their own, and a citizen is someone who has allegiance to something. And there's two different kinds of citizens. There's a federal citizen and a state citizen. Okay. The federal citizen is the 14th Amendment debtor. The state citizen is the person who's born on the land in the state. Okay. And that's the distinguishment.
Someone who believes that certain laws don't apply to him. And as the trial begins, it's clear that he's not planning on.
Okay. So they're saying that he doesn't believe that certain laws apply to him. Okay. Very general pronouns. He doesn't believe in him. So they're not being very specific. This man right here, because we've got other parties involved, and you can't explain this with just the brief words that they're using. And that's why this is so confusing to everyone, because you can't say some of the words they're using. Like I said yesterday, the word you, when they say you listen to that judge. And I just said it to you guys, but listen to that judge, and he will say you. Who is you? Have you guys ever thought of that? Like, who is you? Like, is you somebody or something, or what is it? When they're saying you, and you're answering to it, because as beings, we think of when someone is talking to us, they're saying you. These people are not saying you, they're saying you. Anybody you out there? Any yous out there? Do we have any yous? And yeah. And then we answer back. So you guys are acquiescing to that. I'm not saying ignore somebody, because that's not a solution either. Okay. But I am saying to you that we create situations that we end up waiving, and it's not necessary. It's only because we don't know. So here we go.
Playing by the rules.
I demand that you dismiss this matter immediately.
Matthews has already filed several motions aimed at challenging the court's authority over him. But
Okay.
the judge...
So notice the guy's shirt. Without prejudice, UCC 1-2, I don't even know what he has there. 1-207, I think. 207, or it looks like 213, but I don't even know. I don't know. I can't tell. But anyways, that is without prejudice is how you express non-liability. Okay. So the problem is that he's got the code right on his shirt and he's double-minded. So this guy doesn't, like, he's trying to express something, but he's demanding stuff and he doesn't have authority to do it. There's a whole bunch more stuff behind this guy's. Like there's things. It's not just a man coming in and arguing about a case. There's other accounting and administrative things that are behind all of this, and that's what really screws people up. So let's move on.
Isn't swayed.
Let me explain to you the rules here in the court. Let me explain to you the rules of the court, sir.
Okay, so she's telling him the rules because he's in her private place. Okay, you guys see this right here? This is called the bar, where this man is standing in the mask. It's called the bar. And I know you guys can't see the cursor, but I got the cursor right above his head. And if you look right behind him, there's the little doors right here, and that's the bar. When you come across the bar, now you've entered the jurisdiction of this right here is the vessel. Okay, this is a ship. This is considered a ship. This whole, like, from where this man is standing, from the corner, the jury side over here to the left, this is like the ship area, and you just boarded this captain's ship. Okay, that's what this man is doing. He's on someone else's ship, claiming to be his own captain. Okay, but why are you on someone else's ship?
I'm not here to take part in fraud. Not at all.
Judge Spells warns Matthews that by continuing to interrupt her, he's pushing his luck with the court.
Okay, so let me tell you this. First of all, he is a citizen. He is a citizen that is a federal citizen, and he's already, like, everything he's got has that indicated on it. Everything that exists out there, this woman can see his banking transactions. She knows what he has and what he's doing. And when he's saying he's not participating, not doing this, not doing that, and then the record shows different, well, then he's a liar, right? He's in contempt. And then he's not letting her speak, which is even worse, because now you're not even being respectful. It's beyond dishonorable. So let's move on.
You can be found in contempt if you continue to interrupt me. We'll proceed with trial with you in absentia, sir, and we're going to find you in contempt without.
Okay, in absentia, she was telling him that we're gonna basically have this trial without you. Okay, he's a ward of the state, and that's the way it is. And when he walks in there trying to boss her around, he can't do that because everything that happened before this incident says he's a ward of the state. Everything, every single thing. He has nothing corrected. He might have gone and gotten a T-shirt and maybe sent in some forms to some people, but he's still acting and doing the things using the state's property. And as long as he's going to do that, he's going to be accountable for the stuff. He's got to be liable. It just is what it is.
I'm going to do is
That's the record. The court of justice use coercion to do.
you're interrupting the proceedings of the court, sir, and it is direct.
He's making a record.
It is direct.
He's making a record as a private person, but he doesn't have any record of being a private person. So he's still a public person acting in there. And so she's holding in contempt for, well, doing what he's doing. I mean, he's just not very smart. He's not being very smart. I'm not saying this guy isn't smart. I'm saying he's not being or acting very smart.
Contempt, and we're going to take you into custody, sir. We will give you a hearing, and you'll have the hearing. We will find counsel for you.
As deputies close in on Matthews, tensions reach a boiling point.
Don't touch her. Don't touch her back. Don't touch. Don't touch. I'm not. Don't touch. Don't touch.
Yeah, that's not good. These never turn out good.
As Matthews squares off against the deputy, two off-duty police officers in the jury box get up to help detain him.
They were there already. They knew. So these guys
Challenging the court's authority over him. But the judge
You will have the hearing. We will find counsel.
taken to the
Sorry,
ground.
guys. Oh, I skipped over that part. Okay, so those guys right there, these guys right here, those guys, I would bet you that they are like probably the FBI, like special agents for terrorist groups. Okay, I would bet you money that they are. And look at them. I mean, honestly, seriously, guys, do these guys look like they're in disguise? I think they're in disguise. I think that mustache is bogus. I don't think this guy wears a blue jacket normally, and I think this guy is wearing a fake beard. I don't know, my opinion, just my thoughts. So you guys
Get up to help detain him.
Don't touch. Don't touch. I'm not. Don't touch. Don't touch.
One of them throws several punches at Matthews. As Judge Spells and courtroom staff clear the area.
Get on. Get on.
More deputies pile into the courtroom.
drama. See, this
As
is
Matthews is taken
guys.
to the
None
ground.
of this is real.
I got it.
It's real to that man sitting on the ground, but to these people, it's just a job, and they believe they're doing a job. They believe they're really like helping protect people against people that are bad people. But this man, I would tell you that if you met this man, I don't think he's probably a mean man. I don't know. Maybe he is. But many of these people that I have met personally are not unreasonable people. They're just like fighting like hell because they don't understand what the hell's happening. They don't see what's going on. What is happening here? If somebody could explain why some of this stuff is happening right here, like why do they have the guy on the ground? I mean, I understand the guy got upset, but if you don't give a man everything why he's somewhere and tell him, then he's going to get upset, like especially when you're defending for everything you got. And things are tightening up, guys, and it's going to get tighter and tighter and tighter. This is going to get to be a tighter and tighter drum as time goes by. So it's a good idea to get things fixed right now. You guys don't want to be later on when, and it's not like this isn't a bad thing. I come on here on YouTube, so because I am speaking with those who know what I'm speaking about. I'm not being belligerent. I'm not being disrespectful to other people. My intent is pure, and I come with clean hands. I mean, it is what it is. I don't want to offend anybody in any way. You know, I always want to come across, but I also have been this guy where not quite that. Okay. I've never like hit anybody or assaulted anybody in a courtroom or anything like that. Like that's like that. I've never done that. Now I have asserted my voice. I have stood up and I told, like, I literally have done some of these things. You are not going to speak to me like that. You need to show me an oath of office before you have any authority to speak to me like that. Because as far as it goes right now, I don't have any business with you. I have said that, like stuff like that. I have yelled some not nice things, man. I literally had, like, because it bothers me. I've been, when I was going through all this stuff, this court stuff, I would be transported back and forth from one place to another, and these people just didn't care. And I would see all these other people. Some of them were kids, young, very young kids, you know, going through this, and like they didn't know what the heck's going on. They're learning this stuff for the first time, and I don't want people to go through what I went through. And the reason I know what I know is to keep my own child, my own progeny from ever having to go through this, because this is not a fair, equitable thing. That's why I teach what I teach, because there is inequities out there that exist. There are people that are constantly trying to make everything so that it's more favorable to them in every way. And it's just, you have to be on your toes and make your own record, or somebody will do it for you, and it won't be good what they make. So let's watch this guy get beat up.
In total, 6 people are involved in taking Matthews down.
So now the guy's
After
got
several minutes
charges.
and 2 pairs of handcuffs, Matthews is escorted out of the courtroom.
See, that's why people don't want to do this stuff. It's just beat
The
you
following
down.
day, Matthews appears again before Judge Spells
Now he's gonna say,
to answer for the contempt of court charge.
now.
He's still representing himself, but this time he has a new attitude.
Yeah, he's different now.
Yesterday's proceeding was in error on my behalf. I take full blame for mine.
The court believes the conduct of Mr. Matthews severely threatened the integrity of the court and its proceedings.
So
and such.
now I want you guys to see, this is their psychology coming into play right here, right now. Okay. One of the things that you will see in manipulation and coercion tactics is conveying what you want people to do as what somebody's doing. So you say, oh, this was the before and this is the new guy. This is what we should be. This is what looks really bad and this is what it should look like. So just be cognizant of that. What real choice do we have here? Like this guy's sitting here handcuffed in a gown, and they just took all of his everything away. And now they're going to videotape him and show him like despicable. It's despicable. So they're shaming him. They're shaming him and putting him out here and say, this is to the public, you guys, this is all to you guys, saying, hey, you know what? If you do this, we'll do the same thing to you. It's exactly what it is. That's all it is, guys. So watch.
That immediate action was necessary.
Judge Spells sentenced Matthews to a year of probation
look
and
at this.
time.
You guys notice they didn't look at this. They didn't put his busted eye up there. They didn't put that on the camera. You notice that? Isn't that nice? I mean, wouldn't that be fair to put Anthony Matthews' busted up eye up there? Like, you did it, right? Didn't you do it? We saw it on camera. Yeah, that's kind of gross too. That's kind of bad. I mean, this guy is not going he wasn't going anywhere. You don't need to punch him in the face.
served for both the driving on a suspended license and contempt of court
so
charges.
they gave
But he
him
was-
probation and time served because they damaged him. Okay? They damaged him. They hurt him. And well, when we learn that this isn't us, it wasn't us in the first place, that we became the surety for a stranger, then we can go back and fix all of this. It's a record. Someone made it, guys. So here we go. Let's move on.
He was also charged with 2 counts of assault on a peace officer and 1 count of obstructing official business.
So who got out? If they got 2 more counts and another count, then, and this guy just got the case dismissed and on probation. Well, probation, again, he accepted another benefit. Now they're giving him more benefits. Like, we need to give you this service because you need help. So we're going to take it out of your earnings, and you're going to get the help, and we're going to make sure that you're getting the help. That's, I don't know. You guys do what you think, what you think about that.
As a result of his scuffle with the court deputies and other court officials. He remains free awaiting trial on those charges.
Okay, we're going to move on.
You are in contempt, Mr. Chattanooga. No, I'm not. Be quiet right now.
Okay, so this is actually, this guy was, I've seen this guy before, and I didn't know he was on this video, but I've seen him before, and he was out foraging on the case that I saw. He was out foraging for food, and this man knew his stuff. When I started learning, I watched his video, and I had people send it to me. I was like, whoa, this guy's really good. But he was still off, but he knew it wasn't right. So you guys listen to him.
We're in Eureka, Montana, and the man wearing the no hunting or trespassing sign around his neck is Ernie Tertelge, Montana's proverbial sovereign citizen, known as the natural living man. The 57-year-old's in court today representing himself on charges of driving with a suspended license and obstructing a peace officer during his arrest.
Out, man. He could put some words out. I'm telling you.
But now, after Tertelge interrupted proceedings during jury selection, Judge Stormy Langston holds him in contempt of court.
You are in contempt, Mr. Chattanooga. No, I'm not. Be quiet right now. I will have you arrested.
Law, Stormy. You're in contempt of law. I'm standing for my country's constitution, my country's people.
Now, I don't know if you guys noticed it, but he called her Stormy. He called her Stormy, and his name is Stormy. So he knew that she was the name, okay? He knew that. So, guys, keep watching. This guy's good.
Custody, please.
And I'm not keeping hands off me.
As security attempts to remove Tertelge, Town Attorney Clifton Hayden keeps one of his supporters at bay.
Okay, so now let me be clear. This guy is being detained, but he's being detained not because what he's saying isn't right or because he's wrong. He's being detained because he hasn't taken the proper steps before he asserted the position that he's in. You can't go and assert a position until you assert other issues and you come with clean hands. So that's the reason why this man is having trouble. He's not dumb at all. He's very, very intelligent, very smart, and he knows where he comes from. And most of the time, I'm telling you guys, most of the time, when you see a man who knows this with this much conviction, he will prevail. However, this man was missing part of the knowledge that prevented him from allowing him to get out of the entire thing. So he was really close, though.
We understand. Keep your hands off of me. Keep your hands off of me. Keep your hands off of me. Clinton Hines, you are guilty of conducting a military crime of war.
See, he knew. It's military.
Just as it looks like Tertelge is being escorted out, he isn't.
What are we doing? Back off.
Now we're military. Straight up military now.
Tertelge is almost out of the courtroom when he grabs the doorway and pushes back against the officer.
What are we doing? Back off.
He hasn't assaulted anybody.
Leave me alone, Clinton.
As the somewhat awkward wrestling match continues, Tertelge's supporters add commentary.
This man,
Leave me alone.
deserve this. Leave me alone on confrontation.
Do you see other people?
Done any wrong. So I'm gonna get hurt. Why has no one been able to tell him what wrongs he's done? Doing me harm. Why has no one been able to tell him what wrongs he's done?
Back off! Are you getting in it?
I'm back.
Now you got the boss mob boss
From
there.
the floor, Tertelget
Back
continues
off.
the sovereign citizen argument that the court doesn't hold jurisdiction over him.
When I comply, it will not be because contract is established.
When
See, this
Tertelget
guy's
finally gets
preserving
handcuffed, one of his supporters addresses Judge Langston.
Your Honor, can I ask a question without getting sent for?
What is your question, sir?
My question is what did Ernie do wrong? What did he do wrong?
He's not following the procedure and
The court has no jurisdiction.
What are the procedures to follow? The Constitution.
See,
Court
as a
has no
U.S. citizen, he's not following
This court has
procedures.
never answered for one thing.
Okay.
See, that woman,
The common rules
I don't know how
of
she
being
can sit there.
civil
You just have no conscience
in
at
a
all.
civil society.
To watch another
hold that
man.
officer
And she's in her black gown.
My materials. All these people here.
No, you don't.
Listen, all these people remove my materials. Get my hat, my constitution.
Following the incident, Ernie Tertelget was found guilty of contempt of court, but served no jail time. He was also charged with assaulting a peace officer. That case is still pending.
Okay, so you'll never know the end of that because no charges were filed. Like, listen, guys, this guy is zero threat to anybody. He's being used as an example so that other people will be fearful because they're like, oh my gosh, if this guy knows this and that happened to him, I'm gonna be toast. No, that's bull crap too. You guys got to know that you have like this existence. If it's a wrong existence, then you need to fix it. Period. I'm not saying it's wrong, but I'm saying if it is, you probably need to get busy and do something.
As for his original charge of driving with a suspended license, he was also found
jail
guilty,
time.
but again served no
Look at
jail
that. See,
time.
guys,
The
this
charge
is-
of obstructing
listen.
a peace officer.
This is pretty clear. Like, this is not a thing. This is a display of a man. What they did was we got to put you on camera and do this, but we're not going to do anything because we didn't have any authority in the first place. That's it. Period. Serious. That's it. It's done. And the damage we did to you on the camera was more than what all this stuff was, so we're just going to call it a wash. And we really don't want to mess with you again, so we're just trying to make a point. And that's all it is. Several messages. You guys get it.
Officer was dismissed.
Get out of the vehicle! Get out now!
Okay, I'm not sure why an officer would need to run up to a truck and pull his gun out at a light, but we're going to find out.
Next, we go to a preliminary hearing in Chattanooga, Tennessee. The defendant is 38-year-old Gregory Parker. He's been charged with reckless endangerment, driving with a revoked license, resisting arrest, and a number of other charges. 4 months earlier, Parker was driving.
So Gregory Parker is a U.S. citizen. Okay, all these names that you're seeing up here are U.S. citizens. Otherwise, they wouldn't have the authority to do any of this.
On a Tennessee highway when State Trooper Dale Herring clocked him going 91 miles per hour in a 65 zone.
91 and a 65 with nobody on the road. I mean,
After a few minutes,
you
the
guys,
officer catches
let's go
up
back
to
a
him.
little bit. I want to show you
Red
something.
Chevy.
Like, look at the road. There's nobody on the road. Like, I see a few cars up here, but there's nobody on the road. In town, yeah, when he caught up to him, there was cars on the road. But, I mean, I'm not saying 91 is okay at all. I'm not saying that speeding is okay. I'm just saying, like, come on.
After a few minutes, the officer catches up to him.
Caught up
It's a
to him,
red
huh?
Chevy pickup with ladders on top. Not yet. I believe he's looking for a safe place to pull over.
Officer Herring remains calm, thinking the driver is about to pull over.
No, he's just ignoring him. Why would he pull over? He
18
didn't
miles
do
an
anything
hour.
wrong. He's saying,
That stoplight.
After a couple of miles, Parker comes to a stop at a traffic light. He's also been live streaming the incident over social.
okay, so let me explain something to you. The reason why this guy can get pulled over is because he has the state's plates on his car. And he's holding the title to his vehicle. So all of the liability is in this man's hands. And, well, now they're pulling him over to see, hey, liable guy, what his answer is going to be. And he's not even pulling over. So let's keep watching. This should get interesting.
Social media.
Well, I'm being pulled over. Got a Tennessee Highway Patrol behind me.
Probably a nice guy.
The officer approaches the vehicle, and he's all business.
Get out of the vehicle! Get out now! Get out of the vehicle now!
Okay, he has a right to answer the emergency.
Herring's
like, what is
no
the
mood
emergency?
for
The guy had his lights on, so, but what is the emergency? We're literally sitting at a light, what's the emergency? There's a vehicle in front of me. This man is having the emergency. So you guys see where this guy's rationale is. I'm not trying to justify it. I'm saying, because this man in his mind, this officer, he was trained, okay? He was trained. He was indoctrinated in a way of thinking. He was given a mental image of bad people that can hurt him. And he was trained to use deadly force against those that will. And, well, I think you guys, for the most part, I've learned one thing in my life. I like to, well, I don't really like to. I used to like to go hunting because it was just a thing to be out in nature more so. I didn't like killing stuff necessarily, and I love to eat, but I don't like killing stuff. So my perspective, and again, I want you guys to know, I grew up in a military family. The guns that I saw growing up were the M1 Garand. I saw the AK-47. I saw, we're talking about really nice guns, really nice collector guns. But they were military rifles. They were military stuff. And, well, now that I learned what I know, I'm not so fond about all military stuff anymore. Military has a different meaning to me. In my life growing up, I think that, part of what my dad did say, it kept me fed and healthy, but the connections that come with it, the benefits or whatever they want to call them that come with it are not the greatest. So, come to find out later on, what you have to pay for something. My dad right now, and you know what, you guys, I'm going to show you this. Actually, I can. So I'm going to show you guys something that, let me finish this first, and we'll see how much time we got. If not, I'll show it in another one. But I just did a recording in the county recorder in Arizona that was sent, copies of that were sent to the Attorney General for the state of Arizona, and also to the award boards for the military. And because here's the deal. The deal is that this man is in his 80s, okay? He was born in 1939, and he now can't see because of glaucoma. And this man is still walking around. You guys know, I know I've never said this, but he's still walking around with a bullet shrapnel from a helicopter in his leg. You could still touch his leg and feel the piece of metal under his skin. And that's a real thing. That's gone around with him all his life. So you can't take that stuff back. And people are coming back and are hurt and injured and have these things, ailments that bother them, and they're not taken care of. And when we find out that there's more accounting that is not given to them when it should be, well, then you realize my dad was in the same helicopter that other people were that received the Medal of Honor, in the same helicopter now, same exact vehicle. It's like somebody driving in a car and saying, okay, well, everybody in this car gets awarded for being in the car at this place except for these two people. So there's no difference in it. You can go and, you can look up and research the Battle of the Iadrang Valley. You can research a place called Monkey. You can research, the effects that Huey had on that. You can read the story in We Were Soldiers Once and Young by General Hal Moore, who's now deceased. But at the time, I think this was back in 2007 or something. I want to say it was like 2007 that this movie came out. And we had like these special invitation to go see the movie at a special place. And honestly, I wasn't that interested. My dad was upset that I didn't want to go to the debut of this movie. But honestly, guys, seriously, like, I love my parents and everything, but this was a lifestyle that shows down my throat. I didn't have a choice. And it was because other people chose it because they wanted to have that in their life, not because I wanted it in my life. So I just had to grow up under something that was under someone else's choice. And so the moment that I got the chance to go make a different choice, I wanted to go do a different thing. Not because I didn't love them, but because it was their thing, not mine, Like, we all want to have our own, and we don't want to, like, go through and adopt somebody else's ideas. It's theirs. Like, who wants to feel like you just receive somebody else's something? So let's keep watching this
conversation.
Get out of the vehicle now! Emergency, bro. Get out of the vehicle now! Emergency! Why are you charging on me? What's the problem? You have any weapons on you? What's the
See,
put that cell phone down?
The officer speaking
what are you doing
at a much
put your hands
more
on your back.
rapid pace than this man is.
What's the emergency?
He still has
What crime have I committed? You didn't stop. I was trying to find a safe place to pull off, brother. You didn't stop. You passed up plenty.
The officer brings Parker to his feet and gives him the news.
You're under arrest.
You have a warrant for my arrest?
You're under arrest.
For what?
For not stopping.
Parker was arrested and released on $60,000 bond.
Okay, so this guy didn't know his status. He didn't know what he could claim, and he didn't claim anything, so he waived it. You guys get it? Waiver and consent. I talk about this a lot. Waiver and consent. If you don't assert a right, you waive it.
He arrives at his preliminary hearing with his camera rolling, and things are off to a rough start.
Go that way. Go that way. Don't be pushing on me.
Go this way.
Why are you assaulting me? Get your hands off of me.
Sir, move out the way.
Stop it real quick. So this guy started off really bad. He started off with a bad attitude. You don't walk into another company, private company, and start asking them why they're touching you. They're touching you because you made an agreement with them and they invited you to come in, and now you came in. So that's why they're touching you, if you want to know.
Anyhow, don't be pushing me around. Before I cross this ball.
If you guys don't have any status fixed, you're gonna fail bad at this. And then even then, if your status is fixed, you can waive it right there in front of these people.
I waive no rights and I retain all my rights.
Parker barely acknowledges the authority of the court or the judge. His legal arguments are ones commonly used by sovereign citizens, a group who believes certain laws don't apply to them.
Okay, bottom line, you walk in their place, you waive your rights, and you don't reserve them, okay? You can't. He's just moving forward and saying something right now. And honestly, the guy's not, like, from the beginning, I kind of got a funny, weird feeling because when he told the officer that he was stopping, like, he wasn't stopping. He never did. That was a total lie, and you could see it was a lie. Now, here's the thing. Equitably, if you guys want to be equitable about this, if you want to be fair about all this, what you do is you call 911. You simply call them, and you say, I'm not trying to avoid anything, but I need to know something. You just got to give someone notice, folks. That's all it is. You got to let someone know. You can, like, let them know on the side of the road. I'm going to call your supervisor and make sure that you are who you say you are before I say anything to anyone else. You guys get it? You can do that. But you got to, it's better right now. You guys, what you guys need to do is learn how to do this right now and fix what's wrong so that you don't have to worry about this ever again. Because this is just a Band-Aid. Knowing how to do this is just like something that you should have anyways, but it'll come with fixing the situation. So once we know and realize this, we'll fix it. We can fix it.
I don't have an attorney. I have no need for one.
The judge provides Parker with a public defender, who will act only as an armchair attorney. Parker will handle the questioning of Officer Herring himself. He asks Herring a number of seemingly irrelevant questions, perhaps hoping to confuse the officer.
When did you come to the determination I was driving?
Okay, so this guy already has a contract. He has a driver's license, and they know it. So him asking questions to this man, so he has assumed a responsibility of something, and he never gave any notice of anything to anybody. So he has the responsibility. And to come here and start asking these questions is dishonor in itself. Like, you can't do that. If he would preface it first, that would be honorable. But to do it the way he's doing it is not good.
When I got behind you and you're behind the wheel of the vehicle.
I think that's been answered.
Okay, when he got behind you, when I got behind you, you guys notice you, when I got behind you, you is the name on the driver's license.
Sir, you can ask your next question.
Do you know the difference between driving and traveling?
I'm going to object to that question because it's irrelevant under the state law.
Okay, so he just objected to the question, and he was going to defer it to state law. Well, under state law, they only have drivers. That's it. They don't have anything else. That's state law. So watch. They're going to just cut him off on this.
I'll sustain the objection. You may ask your next question.
See, they wouldn't even let him. She sustained it. He objected, and the officer, guys, the officers are trained. Okay, they're trained in this to know these things. Like, they're trained to object to these questions. They're not attorneys, but they say, I'm going to object. Well, because it's cheaper to tell them to do how to do that than it is to hire them an attorney to be there for them. And so they just train them. They're like, okay, you just object. If they ever say this, if someone ever says the difference between traveling and driving, you just object, and then the state will automatically support your objection. How easy is that? If it's already arranged, then look what just happened. You just saw what happened. And you saw it prearranged because an officer does not know those things coming into it. Period. They don't know.
Who is the victim in this situation?
I'm going to object to the relevance of that.
Who's the victim? Again, guys, we're coming into this state courtroom for these state charges, which is the state just makes up whatever they want. They're saying they're the victim. Now this guy's coming in and asking questions that are outside the purview of their rules, and they're like objecting, and they're like sustaining. Okay, yeah, we don't have to listen to that. No, that's not part of our rules. This man has a status in their company, and he's trying to ask questions that are outside of the status of the company.
That is not relevant. You may ask your next question.
It isn't. It isn't at law.
Finally, after realizing his tactics don't seem to be working, Parker calls it quits.
I ain't playing y'all's game no more. Go ahead, do what you're doing.
See, go ahead, do what you're doing, like you just acquiesced.
After hearing from both sides, the judge makes her decision on whether the case will move forward.
I find that there's probable cause to believe that all these crimes were committed, and they were committed by this defendant here in this county. And I will bind these cases over to the grand jury.
Parker's pled not guilty, and his trial is pending.
This defendant,
if convicted on all charges,
this man,
he could spend 20 years in prison.
I ain't playing y'all's game no more.
Interesting, eh?
Next, we're in Adrian, Michigan for a virtual sentencing hearing.
Virtual sentencing. I wonder if this guy's incarcerated.
The defendant is a sovereign citizen named Robert Mattson, who previously appeared before Judge Michael Olsaver after police found cocaine and an open alcohol container in his car during a traffic stop.
Oh, uppers
His
and
public
downers.
defender negotiated a deal where Mattson would plead guilty to reduced charges and be set free until sentencing.
Most people, guys, that like this guy's struggling emotionally with stuff, because when you have like you're trying to do uppers and downers, things that raise you up and then things that bring you back down, like you're just trying to control like chaos is what you're trying to do. You're trying to like put chaos into order, and you don't get order out of chaos. That's only a company logo on your money. Okay. The Ordo Seclorum is order out of chaos, or you're not going to get order out of any chaos at all.
But it did not exactly go as planned.
Mr. Matson, could you raise your right hand, please?
If I'm not going to get out today, there's no deal. We got trial Friday. I'm just going to trial. I want to make sure that I'm going to be released, so I'm not going to take the plea today.
Ultimately, Matson's lawyer convinced him to take the deal being offered that day, and he was set free on a no-fee bond. 3 months later, he's back in Judge Olsaver's court for sentencing. And rather than simply hearing what his punishment is, Matson is ready to argue his case all over again.
So we are on the record in the matter of the people of the state of Michigan versus Robert Joseph Matson.
Judge, I think the court's making a big mistake here.
Mr. Matson, we had discussed these issues, and ultimately you pled guilty of your own choice. And so I'm going to sentence you on that charge.
So this guy made a contract, and now he's reneging on it. So that's like, it's just dishonor, guys. It's just, you can't do that. You can't do that. You can't go and make a deal and then go back and say, now I'm like, I'm not in front of you. You can't touch me. I'm on Zoom. And what are you going to do? I'm more righteous than now. And this guy's probably on drugs. I mean, I'm not guaranteeing. I don't know anything, but I mean, you act this way when you're not rationally thinking.
Today,
I don't feel that I've had a fair chance. I have not relinquished any sovereign immunities that I have with the courts ever since I even started with the court, because the court is the only one I've ever taken an oath to is God Almighty, who's some lawgiver, one creator, one judge. That's okay. God Almighty. That's what I recognize.
Time out, guys. You don't have a creator and show up at court. Okay? You're either at court because court is your daddy, or you're with your creator. You can't be at both places. It's like you can't be in a marriage with your wife and over at your girlfriend's house and call it a marriage. It's not. It's not.
All right. The recommendation from your probation officer is
guys on probation
they serve one.
Man, this guy, he's under a contract under the state right now by his own agreement. He said, I will be your tool, okay? And now he's coming in and he's saying, well, on that contract, I mean, I'm under that contract, but this is bogus. It's all the same contract, guys.
1 year of probation. I think under normal circumstances, that would be an adequate recommendation with he's gone.
Matson has dropped out of the virtual hearing with no warning. His lawyer and a probation officer try to call him, but he's gone to a doctor's appointment. The judge has had enough.
If we don't have any contact from Mr. Matson by the end of the day to finish this sentencing, I'm going to issue a bench warrant for his arrest, and we will finish the sentencing from the Lenawee County Jail.
2 hours later, Matson logs back into the virtual courtroom, and the judge picks up where he left off with a couple of requests of Matson.
Mr. Matson, we are in a court proceeding right now, and so I'm going to ask you not to eat anything and to remove your hood. Ultimately, Mr. Matson, I'm going to give you a chance at probation, which includes restrictions on alcoholic beverages and substance use. If you choose not to comply, then I am going to be imposing jail.
Okay, it's not if you choose not to take this, if you choose not to comply. You guys see the words, see how he uses the words. If you choose to be somebody bad, that's what he's saying. If you choose to not comply, because somebody that's not compliant is not a good thing. That's not, non-compliance is not a good thing. So he's saying, if you choose, like, I'm going to give you a choice right now. I need you to make this decision. That's what he's saying. He's coercing him.
Jail time. And I'll just tell you now, it'll be a short leash because it will be the sentence of the court that you serve a period of probation for 1 year. Do you understand that, Mr. Mattson?
He's just giving him notice right now. That's notice. That's notice. He's saying, I'm gonna recommend I give you probation for 1 year, and then the guy doesn't say anything and he accepts it. And so there's no objection and he accepted it. It's over.
Judge Olsaver sends Mattson to speak to the probation.
So I'll tell you guys, I actually scheduled this to be transmitted later. So it's probably going to be coming on later. I don't know where it's showing up now, but it'll come on somewhere later. So I don't know.
Officer, and the matter is closed, as long as Mattson follows his probation requirements. Thanks for being a fan of Court Cam. Subscribe to A&E to never miss a new.
This was I'm gonna leave this this location, wherever that is. Let me copy the link to this so that you guys can see it, and I will post it in the comments as well. So it'll be posted in here for the room, and yeah, so there it goes. So I just posted the link for the YouTube channel that we just did, that I did this on. And these are part 3 of top sovereign moments from A&E Court Cam. And this is the sovereign citizen movement. So it's part 3, guys. So anyway, let me go, and I want to show you, what was I going to show you? I was going to show you, a recording. So let me find the document first, and then I can show it to you guys. Okay, so this is one that I did today, or it was done. I'll show you. You'll be able to see it. This is it's a recording that's on record at the this is on record at the Pima County Recorder in Arizona. All right, so this is from my particular trust, and we're looking at notices to, oops, that wasn't what I was looking for. Notices to the Secretary of the Army, the Army Board for Correction and Military Records, the Secretary of Defense, and the Congressional Record of Medal of Honor Society. Let me do this. I got to do something real quick. I got to find this document because it didn't show up the right one. And I don't know why. Oh, I see why. I know why. Okay, so I was doing the wrong. I was showing you guys the wrong thing. All right, let's go here again. All right. So you'll see here that this is to, and these are the addresses, email addresses to the people that I'm contacting. Now, I'm saying being of sound mind and body, making the affidavit of free will and affirm the stated facts here and true and correct and certain and complete to the best of my knowledge. Okay. I, Patrick Neal, and I give the address of the trust. My father was this, okay. And this is his status. He served with the distinction of during the Vietnam War, particularly in the Battle of the Ia Drang Valley, as part of the 1st Cavalry Division, and his heroic actions warrant the Congressional Medal of Honor. Despite identical service actions, Mr. Marino received lesser accolades compared to his peers who received the Medal of Honor. This inequity must be rectified by the balance of equities between the parties involved. Mr. Marino was awarded the Silver Star by Senator John McCain in 2010, which does not fully capture his sustained heroism or bravery. Equity jurisprudence aims to provide remedies where traditional legal remedies are short, and that's Patterson versus Bonaparte in 1805. Major Marino's case represents a clear deficiency in the recognition of his valor warranting equitable intervention. The denial of the Medal of Honor to Mr. Marino is unconscionable given the party of his actions with those of his decorated peers. Equity abhors a forfeiture. So they made him walk away and forfeit an award that he should have gotten. Legal precedents support the upgrade of the military based upon the comprehensive evidence, and these are cases that cite that as 99 to 2010, and those are cases that are in statutory, but many of them are probably equitable matters where they just decided them 100% in equity. So Army Regulation 608-22 and 10 U.S.C. 1552 provides the authority to correct military records where an error or injustice is found. As a private civilian under Article 3, Section 2, it's my intent to tender my father's estate to take the shoes of the creditor. My father has become a U.S. citizen by implied consent and not full disclosure. Aside from his contractual relationship as an officer, he's a private civilian, has become an implied surety. His estate was intended for the benefit of the record is in error. His mother did not intend to abandon his estate and part of the family trust that is not yet completed. It is Francisco Marino's intent to tender issues less than the amount to take the shoes of the creditor. Given Mr. Marino's age and uncertainty of remaining time, it's crucial to expedite the process. So here's what I have aired. I'm putting this on the public record as my assertion, and I want anybody to come forth and say that I'm saying that no equitable basis exists for denying the Medal of Honor when his peers with identical service actions have received it and there is no proof to the contrary. I also averred that no valid claim exists that can refute his entitlement to equitable recognition under common law in the United States Constitution, and there is no proof to the contrary to that either. I also averred that any delay in correcting this record results in a continued inequity and injustice and irreparable harm towards Major Marino as an officer and a private civilian, and there is no proof to that contrary either. Equity sees done that which ought to be done in the spirit of equity and justice. It's imperative that Major Francisco G. Marino Marino's service be honored with that Congressional Medal of Honor and that this estate matter be addressed appropriately. So that was put on the current record. I provided a certificate of fact. There is also a document that, and the certificate of fact goes with the, this is what it looks like. So when you guys, if you guys go get a notary, okay, you see that the notary right here is Crystal Nicole Quinones Maez of Colorado, right? Then you go here, and this is her certificate. This is from the Secretary of State. So what I did is I just asked her for it, right? And then I put my stamp on it. See that? So I just asked her for it. I put it with the signature. Now I don't need to go and get the authentication at the Secretary of State. Now I have the document that says it's got their seal and the signature on it and everything. So that is a really good, this is a really good document to be able to like reference and show you guys some stuff because this is real stuff that is important. You know what I mean? It's important things that we go through and these are real records that people make. So, you know, it's necessary we get the things out there so that we can continue to move forward. And it's just creating equity. Once we create these records, then we move forward on it. So with that, you guys, I'm going to yield. I don't have any more today. I do have, we're going to go over some other stuff tomorrow, but that's it for today. So I thank you guys for coming out, checking it out. I hope that, you know, some of this would help you. And yeah, with that, I yield.